It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you all a lady you all know very well, but the lady of the hour, my right-hand person and partner in just about everything I've done politically in the last year. Can we welcome to the stage our candidate for State House District 12, Dr. Jumelle Brooks. And I'm going to take my glasses before you steal them.
Listen, I got a glasses story. I'm glad Bill took his glasses because in this week I have lost 2 pair. I found this pair in the armrest in my car, and we're going to hope that it's going to work. So y'all pray for me and my other glasses. I got to find them. So a lot of good stuff has been said. And hey, Sugar, how you doing? A lot of good stuff has been said. So I'm going to take a couple of moments just to tell you a little bit about where I stand as a candidate and get feedback. To be running at this time with the slate that we have is a privilege. So when I say every time I get a moment to speak, I just want to make sure I give a shout out to the candidates that are running on the Democratic ticket, because the slate that we have that is going to be in front of you starting October 21st, if you early vote, is a powerful slate. It is a group of people that is ready to take on whatever they thought they had coming. We prepared. So I think that is something to get excited for as well. We're excited for the top of that ticket, but I can tell you that Greenwood County is going to rock if we can bring in everybody on the bottom of that ticket. So last year, it's almost, was it a year to date? A year to date, I introduced myself to you all as a candidate for State House District 12. That's really cool. I stated that I was a candidate who desired to be a voice for the people who were underserved, unserved, and then those who just sometimes felt like they didn't even deserve to be served. That's why I added my name to that list. As I continued this journey to the State House, I brought several messages. And if you followed me, you've heard the taglines for those messages. I reminded everyone that they had everything in their bag that they needed to be successful. We have it with us. We take it with us every day. And if we can just remember the way we were raised and how we were brought up, if we can remember to consider others, if we can remember to have that tenacity, we have just what we need to be that change that we're looking for. I reminded us that we were all, believe it or not, farmers. Every day we wake up, we have the opportunity to plant seeds. Those can be seeds that promote economic growth, seeds that promote educational growth, seeds that promote and protect the rights of you and others. Seeds that promote equal representation and fair wages in all fields and promote the destruction of all things evil. That's what we planted. I also reminded people that, believe it or not, you are freedom. Each and every one of you are the freedom that you're looking for. In that freedom is wrapped the most powerful thing that you've ever had. It's your voice. It is the voice that you should use to stand for right no matter who is standing against you. It is the voice that you should use to shout down and drown out any attempt to hinder growth. Why were those messages that I gave to you over this year important? And why do I believe that those messages will stand the test of time? It's because democracy, my friend, is a living thing. And every day that we are here, we will have to fight to protect it. This fight for democracy is not a fight that one American can take on. It's not a fight that 2 Americans can take on. It's a fight that all Americans have to take on, one city, one county, one state at a time, in order to make the change that we need. We all have a job to do. What is our job? We must work to reduce the maternal mortality rate for African American women. No questions asked. We must reinstate Roe versus Wade. No questions asked. We must protect the public funding of the educational system. Don't take your eyes off of it. We must fight like all other to protect access to Social Security. We must fight to increase access to mental health. We must implement gun laws that protect the masses. No one said take it from you, but we need to regulate it. We must, don't miss this one, we must make sure that we protect our county and our district lines from gerrymandering. It happens and we're not even looking for it. And they do it strategically to dilute your vote. So we need to be aware of those things when they happen. We must protect our towns, our cities from crime. We must. We must increase the health literacy. Not many candidates have talked to you about health literacy. But if you want to see a better health outcome at the city, state level, even at the national level, you have to increase health literacy. We must protect our veterans and our aging population. You know why? Because they deserve it. And that's our job to do so. We need to fight to demand the enactment, so stop playing with it, South Carolina, the hate crime bill. I can sum this up, but we got to fight like with everything that we have left in us to protect our future. Sitting back idle and not taking a stand won't help us. So it's not an individual fight, because you know what happens when we all come together. We can change things. And that's where we are now. So we can't lose momentum and we can't lose focus. We have to elect candidates that don't mind being in the trenches with the people, not sending text messages. Y'all got that text message? Okay. I'm gonna tell you a quick story about being in the trenches. On this campaign trail, I'm doing phone calls. We do something called call time. And I called this one candidate, one constituent, 90 years old. And I remember my first interaction with her. I said, Miss Cora. She said, yes. I said, oh my God, you're 90 years old. She said, I don't know you. I said, yes, ma'am, you don't. So I said, well, I'm gonna come out to your home and introduce myself to you. And she said, okay, come on out. I went out to meet Miss Cora maybe a month or so ago and explained to her the voting process, explained to her how she could vote absentee. When we finished talking, she said, well, you come back when you're not busy. And I thought, yeah, we're going to find that time. Fast forward to the storm. So Hurricane Helene comes in. I, like most of you all, lost power. We had some property damage. But my focus remained on my family and my community in that time frame. So I immediately, as soon as power came back, I saw on Facebook that the city was looking for help to pass out MREs and water. So I immediately jumped on the bandwagon. I just showed up like I was a part of the city and started serving, right? So one of those days I left, I won't forget, is when I left Promised Land. I left Promised Land and I was thinking, wait a second, I gotta go back and check on Miss Cora. The fun fact is Miss Cora lives right across the street from her 88-year-old sister-in-law. Okay. So they can literally open the door and look out at each other and make sure each other's okay. So I loaded up my car up with supplies to take back and go check on Miss Cora and her sister-in-law. When I got to Miss Cora's house, she was sitting outside under a tree, just as calm as she could be. I pulled up in the driveway and I got out the car with my same old, Miss Cora. She said, yes. I said, you remember me? But this time I pointed to the sign that I had in her yard. She said, I sure do. So I went up to Miss Cora and I said, I know it's been rough, but I know you can't get out. So I brought the supplies to you. Miss Cora said, well, I sure do appreciate it, baby. And I said, and don't worry, I got your sister-in-law supplies in the car too, right? So I go to put the supplies in her house and I open the door and I automatically think, Miss Cora, you lost power. And she said, yeah, it came on yesterday. And I said, did you clean out your freezer? She said, yes. And I said, well, I'm going to back my car up to your door. And all of that spoiled food that you have, you're not going to wait on anybody else to take it off. It's going in the trunk of my car. So I loaded up hers and I drove across the street, actually backed across the street, which was really good, to her sister-in-law, and I did the same thing. Her sister-in-law is just overwhelmed, and she says to me as I'm loading up the car, she says, "How much do I owe you?" I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I'm weak when it comes down to that kind of stuff. And I turned to her and I said, "You paid for these services a long time ago. It is our responsibility to not forget those that cannot gain access to resources. And that is why we have to fight. That is why we have to fight. We have to have people on the slates, and we have to have people that represent our counties and our district that do not mind going the extra mile to check on someone. So recognizing that this is just the beginning, let's show South Carolina that there's a new player on the field. And that player will not take no for an answer. That player will train and promote a replacement so we don't have gaps in our government when it comes down to representation for our thought processes. That player is not going to ask anyone at that table for a seat. And you know why? Because my family, your family, your family, and your families help build the table that they're sitting at. So we're going to claim what is ours. And that player that has been added to the field doesn't mind standing for what's right, whether she stands by herself or with a team. I ask for your support to ensure that we can get the seat for District 12 State House Representatives as I continue to put my family first, your family first, and our state first. South Carolina will prevail. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I cannot imagine anybody else more suited to serve the lead in this role than Dr. Brooks. Are you with me? More importantly, will you do what it takes over these next 30 days to get her elected? Will you rise up and support this wonderful, beautiful, intelligent, hardworking lady? We need her. This is our seat. I challenge any of you to even name who's in that seat today. Don't know who it is. That person ain't at no old lady's house picking up bad meat. Tell you that much.